Now, let me cast your mind back to this.
No. Everyone could see what happened. Exactly. It started with reports of boozy parties in Downing Street during lockdown. But when the whole country was locked down, he was hosting boozy parties in Downing Street. Yes. Is he now going to do the decent thing and resign? Yes. The Prime Minister pretended that he had been assured there were no parties. Yes. How that fits with his defence out, I do not know.
Can we see that again? Only joking. Finally, the Durham police are going to re-investigate Keir Starmer, whose incessant insistence to discuss Partygate and nothing else has, yes, it's definitely damaged the Conservative Party, but revelations of his own misdemeanours, Beergate, are unravelling, which means that whilst his perpetual Partygate narrative appeared to have worked in yesterday's local elections in the south, near the Westminster bubble, very little has changed for the Labour Party outside it, although results are still coming in. Now, Keir insisted that Boris has lied and broken the law. He repeatedly called for his resignation. But whilst the Conservatives have not had the best of days in the local election, they haven't thus far taken as huge losses as expected. What they have lost are a few heartland areas, mainly Westminster, Barnet and Wandsworth. Here's Charisma Bypass Keir Starmer showing his joy at clinching Barnet, a borough that has a lot of Jewish voters, which would suggest that he's finally purged the perception of the party of being anti-Semitic.
My first words as leader of our party when I took over in April 2020 was that we were going to root out anti-Semitism from our party, not tolerate it anymore in our party, change our party. And I said the test of that will be whether the voters trust us again in places like Barnet. And they've done it!
Finally, some charisma. However, bragging that you've clinched boroughs at the heart of the Westminster elite and bubble don't really mean much on the grand scheme of things when you've lost the hearts and minds of your traditional voters who are steeped in loyalty. Voters who would traditionally and unquestionably vote Labour for everything, irrespective of who is at the helm. Veteran polling expert Sir John Curtis said, outside of London, as compared with 2018, when the seats were last contested, it looks as though Labour's vote is actually slightly down. So the real beneficiaries here, well, they're, of course, the Greens and the Liberal Democrats. The statistics that Labour-run councils are, on the whole, actually more wasteful than the Conservative-run ones, and Westminster being the most efficient borough in the UK with the lowest council tax. So it'll actually be quite interesting to see if that remains the case under the Labour Party's control. Here's the thing. If we believe that people voted on what's happening in Westminster, then after a solid 6-month dart of Partygate, I believe Keir has failed. If those voting did it on the basis of who their local candidate is, then their vote has nothing to do with Keir Starmer. So has Keir's gamble on focusing on Partygate paid off? Well, the problem he faces now that the Durham police have reopened the investigation into Beergate is that as a barrister, if he's found to have lied, then he risks potentially being disbarred. And frankly, if Rishi Sunak popping his head into a room where a gathering is happening was a breach, then Keir's defence is on shaky ground. So maybe Sir Keir should think twice before raising a beer to Labour's perceived success. A turning point, he called it. Yes, a turning point for you, mate. Cheers.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.